standing by.
5, 4, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Ah, there you are. Where have you been the whole afternoon? It's been a very trying time. I have to tell you, David and I have been sat here at Buffelshoek Dam waiting for you for hours. Finally, you've deigned to join us. It has been extremely painful here, you can see. I've become so exhausted I've had to lie down under this perfect autumnal blue sky. There are buffalo at the dam, we've been watching birds, we've been reading about snakes, we've been reading about frogs, and it's just been a really pleasant time, and I'm so sorry that you've been so tardy about joining us. Anyway, I suppose it's time to get up and we better do something useful this afternoon. Lovely to have you along. Very big apologies for our lack of signal earlier on. We're not really sure what happened. Perhaps one of the satellites, like has happened so many times before, was attacked by aliens and removed for spare parts, something like that, to fix their spaceships. Brian would know more about that than I would. Okay. In case you're wondering what on earth this highly cheeky, rude, sarcastic human being is banging on about, you're on a live safari. That means that we would like to talk to you. You may ask us any questions you want. I've lost my earpiece. There we go. This will result in lots of trouble for me from Kirsten, who's directing. She's being ably assisted, I hope, by Rebecca. No, not Rebecca, by Luisi. And like I say, on camera is David. The other vehicle is being occupied by the Hobbit Samwise Gamgee and the other Hobbit who is yet to be named Wium Durmbrach. Very nice to have you along. So like I say, you're on a live safari, hashtag SafariLIVE. If you'd like to talk to us on Twitter, or questions@wildearth.tv if you would like to talk to us on the email. Now, we were supposed to have a school drive earlier on. Unfortunately, the school drive has sort of finished in the intervening 2 hours since we were supposed to go live. And so we'll do that tomorrow. The kiddies have gone off. Well, they've probably gone home to sleep by now. Anyway, we're here at Buffelshoek Dam, and let's have a look at some buffalo, and then we'll press on. We've done quite an extensive survey of the general surrounds here of Djuma. We're at a reserve called Djuma, which is on the western fringes of the Greater Kruger National Park, a magnificent piece of wilderness here in the northeast corner of South Africa. There are some buffalo. They are being ridden upon by some oxpeckers. And as you can see, a buffalo has no trouble relieving himself in the water supply that he is going to drink. All around the buffalo, those little sort of bobbles in the water are terrapins, hundreds of serrated hinged terrapins. And I do apologize once again for us being late, but there's really nothing we could do about it. We have managed to fix it through the brilliance of Connor and Eugene and possibly even Graham Wallington himself. And Alex Wozniewski, of course, remotely helping us from Moscow, Mother Russia, where he's now living. This buffalo is having a nice little wade about. I think they love swimming, you know. I don't think they do it purely to keep cool. I think they do it largely for entertainment value, or, well, to a certain extent for entertainment value. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you, Dave, if you don't mind. This buffalo, in front of it is a bird, and it's a bird that is wagging its tail and is therefore known as a wagtail. Keep going. It's right in front of the buffalo now. That's it. Oh. There's a bit of argy-bargy. Let's leave the pied wagtail and reverse slightly so we can get a look at these two buffalo having some argy-bargy. You can hear them making... They did this the other day. 3 or 4 of them seemed to be very cross with each other. Bleh. Is that an amazing sound? No idea what it means. Fascinating. And I'm very pleased that you are all very pleased that we are back online. We are too. It was getting very tiring lying there under the beautiful dome of this autumnal blue sky. Wasn't it, David? Exhausting time that we had this afternoon. We were rather hoping Mvula might pitch up here. I'm just getting an update from Samuel. Go ahead, Samuel. You can hear what he has to say.
Okay, any updates so far? Just Lex and I getting mobile from WildEarth.
It's not Samuel at all, it's Chris. Sorry, Chris, no updates. There's some buffalo here at Buffelshoek Dam. Otherwise, some elephants went north from Sydney's. No other updates so far.
Copy, thanks very much, man.
All right, I'll turn him back off. All right, I think we should move on from here. We don't obviously have all day long because we were a bit late ourselves. Sorry about that. So while we move on and decide where to go, let's head across to Samwise Gamgee, get an update from him, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a while since we've seen you. Sorry about the technical difficulties that we have just encountered, but we are now on Cheetah Plains, and we've had the opportunity to get as far as we can before the show starts. So here we are with a whole bunch of impala out on the plains. This afternoon you are with Wium and Sam, and we are going to go around Cheetah Plains, see if we can find any tracks of cheetah, possibly any jackal. There's always that chance, and this is only the second time that I'm coming through to Cheetah Plains, so I still don't know where I'm going, how I'm going to do it, so it should be an interesting affair. Once again, I forgot my elephant, so I don't have my Ellie with me. I left it on Wendy, so Wendy will be looked after by Mr. Ellie around wherever they go with James this afternoon. We are going to have a look at these impala that are grazing here. They're still quite unaware of our presence at the moment, but this is definitely the most, apparently, from what I've heard, everyone coming to Cheetah Plains, that they've seen of impala. And what happens when impala come onto the plains, so do the predators. So we might just have an interesting afternoon today. We're going to see what we can find. We're going to circle this big, large herd of impalas and see what else we can find within it. Potentially there's a wildebeest somewhere close by. To the right here we have a very good looking starling that is just in the grass. Can you see it there, Wildy? Look at the iridescence, the sheen on that starling. It is a Burchell starling. So we've seen the Burchell starling. I've written on my bird list already. We still need to find the Cape glossy starling and the greater blue-eared starling. It's not often that I get to see the starling out in the plains. Normally I'm seeing them on top of birds, on top of trees. It's also the sound of the lapwing that's out here. I can keep hearing that Senegal lapwing. And I really want to put something new on our bird list this afternoon, so hopefully we can find a lapwing in amongst these impalas. I haven't seen a herd this big. I'm quite surprised by it. Let's see if we can find some youngsters while we're out here. There's one that's sitting over there. Let's have a look at the one sitting or lying down. Just to the right there. A little more to the right. And he's actually well camouflaged. You're going to get him on shot just now. There he is. It's a female that's lying down in that grass. It's quite interesting. It's pretty much every single one of those antelope are standing and feeding, and there's only one that's sitting down. It's almost like she is as a support system, as a lookout for any predators that might be coming into the plains this afternoon. So that's quite interesting behavior. Debbie from Vancouver is asking, please can we see if we can find an ostrich track Debbie, I'm going to do my best to find an ostrich track. I'm even going to do even better to see if we can find an ostrich itself. I haven't seen one since I've been here with WildEarth. Hopefully we'll see one, and I mean, we've still got quite a bit of the open areas to have a look at, so we'll go and see what we can find, Debbie. There's always that chance. So this is the area where we'll find cheetah and ostrich, the two things on Vuyatela and Juma that we find quite difficult to locate around here. So as we move across this big open area, which I'm quite just very unfamiliar with. As you know, Vuyatela is quite thick and full of everything. And it's quite nice to be able to open my eyes and see what's around us. As soon as we drove in here, Wium and I were thinking of a cheetah just running across this plain and maybe potentially getting some impala for supper tonight. Be very lucky if we got to see that. I think we were out, was it last night, that we went to Arathusa. So now we're exploring Cheetah Plains. I don't have the map here with me, but I've got it on my phone, so hopefully I don't cross into any of the borders. Jokes, I'll definitely have a map, so don't worry. Everyone who might be worrying, I'll make sure that we don't cross any boundaries. While we go and see if we can find an ostrich track, let's go and see how Mr. Henry's doing.
We're just trying to find a view, everybody, of that warthog, and that warthog is the very same warthog we saw this morning in a similar area, a female voluptuous warthog who we dubbed Beyonce, the Beyonce of warthogs. I'm not really sure why I thought that, other than her sort of impressiveness. She's an impressive warthog, really. Not Beyonce, I mean the warthog. And so we named her Beyonce, which is probably regrettable. But anyway, there she is. I can't believe we found her again. She's got salon quality hair. She's got a sass about her. And she's got enormous tusks. For a female warthog, she has got enormous tusks. Anyway, I'm glad we saw her again. Yes. Anyway, this morning we had an amazing time. We saw some wild dogs. We also had a wonderful elephant sighting. And the dogs, unfortunately, went north into Manyeleti, so we're unlikely to see them again. We didn't have any luck with Karula because she is still south of our boundary with her kill. We did see some vehicles in that site. So we are going to make a little turn past there and just see if she hasn't perhaps walked slightly closer to the boundary with her little babies. That would be a wonderful treat, but I don't know that she's going to do that at all. And what else did we have this morning? Updates on the lions, that the Nkuhumas were not found. But yesterday I thought there were only 4 of them on Buffelshoek, but they did in fact find 5. At least, yeah, 5 of them. And then 3 of the Birminghams have headed off towards Hofmann's, which is sort of south of us as well, sort of just east of Arathusa. So that's where 3 of them are. And then 1 of them is with another female, and I'm not sure who that female is, somewhere around Chitwa, I think. So we give them. The Investec pack with the dogs that we saw today, down to 8 from 11, probably 3 of the youngsters taken out, I think, in a fight either with another pack, but much more likely with a clan of hyenas up in the Manyeleti. So that is the lay of the land at present. Not a huge amount in the way of elephants. Suddenly they've all disappeared again. Brenda, you're dreadfully worried that the Birmingham boys may have eaten their 5th brother who died at the horns of a buffalo, apparently. Brenda, they didn't. They would have. I mean, there's no reason for them not to. I have seen male lions eat their brothers before. I don't think they ate this one. I suspect he was probably eaten by hyenas eventually. But, yeah, I don't know. I do know that the 4 of the Birmingham boys did not eat him. The day that he died, they went off and killed a buffalo on Nkoro. So his wake was celebrated with fresh buffalo meat. And I think he was just left to sort of become dust, as it were, just near one of the dams in Buffelshoek. So no, they didn't eat him. And interestingly, I mean, lions will eat each other very happily. Hyenas, however, are often not eaten by each other or by other predators, which I think is quite interesting. Often they will be left to rot. Whereas if you find a dead leopard or something like that, it would almost always be eaten by another predator. I'm also trying to get an update today about Shadow, and I didn't give... I tried to get an update about Shadow, and I didn't find her. I haven't had one, so I don't know where she is. I wonder what the story is with her little cubs, and maybe she's moved them onto Hofmann's or something like that, so that the guys from Arethusa are not seeing her that often. It is a beautiful, beautiful autumnal afternoon. I think it'll be relatively chilly this evening, but the front that there was earlier today has cleared off and left these really deep blue skies, which is very beautiful indeed. Debbie, I think you've had a wonderful thought. You say you've been thinking lately how animals maybe do things for pleasure rather than just for practical reasons, like that buffalo that we saw that was swimming there, or sort of wading. And what do I think? I think animals definitely do things for pleasure. I think elephants especially. I think elephants get bored walking around eating all day long. And certainly this morning, if you come across a young bull elephant, they will and sort of will interact with you by just walking up and looking and then smelling and giving a little head shake, and perhaps it'll run towards you and run back, just testing the water out. There's no practical reason for them to do that. I think elephants also love to swim. We know they love to swim when there is sufficient water and when it's hot enough. Yeah, I have no doubt that animals retain an element of play behavior into adulthood in the same way that human beings do. We know that play behavior in human beings is extremely important. As for youngsters, it helps to sort of make the muscles work and make the neurological system connect itself properly. Something going on here. There was a fork-tailed drongo flying about. He's there in the tip of the tree here, Dave. He's just sort of, as if you follow the main trunk to the right, you'll see him hidden there. You got him there?
I don't see him.
Just zoom in there. Left a bit. There you go. Dead center. That's him. And he was flying around here, seemingly catching insects, hawking insects out of the air. There are quite a few butterflies and things around here. Maybe that's what he's going for. I don't know. Right. Samuel has a golden-headed ground bird to show you. Let's go and find out what it is.
It's a new bird for our bird list today. It's a coqui francolin, which is something that I've only seen twice before, and have a look at the features, and it's so great to have it so close to us. You can see the significant orange head with a little bit of a yellow beak, with the front that is a bit black, and have a look at that barring, the black and white barring beneath, and the orange red eyes. This is clear features of the coqui francolin, which has such a cool sound. So hopefully coqui francolin will give us a little call in a few seconds. But apparently, so there's two of them here, and one seems to be a female and one seems to be a male. So let's just have a look at the other one. That's the one coqui francolin, that's the other. Could be a juvenile. Just having a look at it. I'm just reading it here. The female is apparently resembling a Shelley's francolin, and the juvenile is more mottled. So looking at this one here, this seems to be the juvenile. You can see that it's got quite a mottled feature. But isn't it such a beautiful looking bird? Look at that stripes on the back. we often find coqui francolins in this area. So, as we just explained, the Shelley's francolin likes to be in rocky areas, but the Shelley's francolin likes to be, no, not the Shelley's, the coqui likes to be in the big open areas. And the food that the coqui francolin likes to eat are seeds and small fruits, and in summer is supplemented by insects. And they've got two distinct calls, one given by a male only. And what's quite interesting is that the name is derived from an onomatopoeic call. Beautiful. When we leave the sighting, I've got my bird book here with my little sound device, and we can listen to that onomatopoeic call of the coqui francolin. So that is a new bird for our bird list this afternoon, everyone. Catherine's saying that there are so many beautiful birds in Africa. Cheers, coqui francolins. Yes, there are some very, very beautiful birds out here. One that I love in terms of its features is the saddle-billed stork. I truly love the look of that. We saw it I think 2 days ago. It has a very significant red. It just looks so interesting. Just have a look at that saddle-billed stork. You just can't believe that it exists. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit of a distance away. So this is the bird book. And I'm going to stop far away. This is the coqui francolin that's over here. Switch off the car. So the reason why I drove away to not play the sound is because it's quite disruptive for the bird itself to hear, you know, its own call. You know, as you know, that's not the sound of the coqui francolin. If I have to play, I mean, somehow I'm going to have to figure out how to take off the bird call before as I switch it on. But here's the sound of the coqui francolin. So that is the coqui francolin. One more time. Onomatopoeic. Ooh, yes, that makes a big sound. James Henry's old hat is asking me if the francolins are related to hens in any kind of way. I think that was the question. Hens or chickens. I'm actually not sure on that, James Henry's old hat. Yeah, to chickens. So are francolins related to chickens? It's a good question, James Henry's old hat. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure about that answer. It's an interesting one. I'll go back and have a look at some of those lineages. Today I was actually looking at the lineages in terms of where mammals came from and where humans came from, and was trying to put them up in the wall of my room to understand what species are related to each other and all that sort of thing. So that'll go well with my new wall list. What is the relation of some of the francolins and what family group has it grown into? So thank you, James Henry's old hat, for giving me a little bit more content to put on my wall. So as you know, we're driving through Cheetah Plains. So I actually don't know where I am. I need to look on my map. Let's have a look and see where I am. I am on the border of Mala Mala. So Mala Mala was over there, and a name of a property that I've just forgotten. Oh, and this could be the Kruger boundary. Hey, Wium, is it the Kruger boundary? I think it is the Kruger boundary. Well, all I know is that I cannot go down, I cannot go right, I need to go back left. Hey?
Stop, it's a leopard.
No ways. Where? Leopard, everyone. Wium, well done. We've just spotted a leopard. And it's not on our property. Let's get into a good position to watch it. I think it's going to go up that termite mound. Oh, it looks like a female from here. Beautiful. Wium, that was fantastic. Could be Tandi or Inkanyeni. I have not met Tandi or Inkanyeni. There she goes. I'm just going to reverse so we can get another good view. Oh no, this is very exciting. Yeah. So I think she might just cross the road. Have you got us? Let me get a nice view. She's just behind the tree there. Wium and I think that she might just cross the road. So I'm just going to get in a position where, you know, we can see her walking towards us, which could be very exciting. There she goes. Look how beautiful you are, Tani or Inkanyeni. I'm sure we'll figure it out soon. I'm just going to reverse a little bit more. Master spotter Wium, hey? Wow. What an incredible encounter. A leopard this afternoon. Look, she just heard something. She is beautiful. Look at those colors. You can see that nice golden sheen rubbing off her skin there. And that white underbelly. She's young. She's healthy, very, very healthy looking leopard. Amazing to watch her walk into the sunlight like this. This is so cool. There she goes. This is awesome. She's going to come right in front of our vehicle. Hello. That's amazing. There she goes into the thicket. Incredible. She was so relaxed with us being there. Oh, she's going to climb the tree. Is she going to climb the tree? I think she might. Let's get into a position where we can see. Let's get it. She's scent marking. There she goes. You've just got some picture. She's going into the thicket. I'm going to make my way around so that we can see if we can see her come back out the other way. Can you see her there, Wium?
Yep, she's standing still.
There she is. She's just, oh, she looks like she's going to climb that tree. Let me just go a little bit more forward so I can get, there we go. She's scent marked over there. There. You just saw her lift her leg up there. That was a great, well done, Wium. Good shooting. Good filming, my man. Let's see where she goes. She's heading into the block there. I'm not going to crash up behind her because I think that's a little bit intrusive. But let's try and see the direction she's going in. Wium, can you see her there?
No, but
Wium can just see her in the thicket there.
now moving parallel with the road.
There she is. Thicket. And bash through all these trees. There she is, there she is. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is, you see she's sitting down next to that termite. We're actually going to go, because there's a space where we'll be able to go in. Here we go. Wow, look at her. You know, she's just waiting by this termite mound. It's quite interesting to see her do this. And a warthog, a piglet or anything. Those features. Have a look at those eyes. And she's gonna get. Please look into the. Please look. Yes. Wow. Those are brown gold. Very, very good looking female. Looks like she's back up. Smelling the air around her. She's got. She looks like she's. So you guys think it's not Tandi? So it could very well be Inkanyeni, if I've pronounced that right. Okay, so Inkanyeni has a 4-4 spot pattern, whereas Tandi has a 3-3 spot pattern. So let's see if we can get another look. Is she lying down there? I think she is. She could be scent marking. She's just behind that thicket. Raisa says that it is Inkanyeni. Well done, Raisa. Thank you for... she's lying down into that bush now, so she's going to get comfortable. What we're going to do is we're going to try and get to a position where we can see her. Have a look at that termite mound there, that hole in there. It's potentially where a warthog will be staying, or even a porcupine. I wouldn't be surprised if Inkanyeni is sitting in this position so that she could wait for some food to come home. I'm going to move quite slowly here. I don't want to startle her. So Steph's saying that she has 2 cubs as well. Steph, thank you for letting me know that. That is very, very important things to know when viewing a female leopard. Purely just the way in which I interact with the leopard this afternoon. There you go, you can see her, she's grooming herself there. Good position because we're not too close to her, and I don't want to get too position. Steph, I truly hope that those 2 cubs are somewhere around her. Look at that, that's awesome. What a privilege to come across you this afternoon. So let's see if we can see those spot patterns. The 4-4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got that. on the side there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see she's grooming herself here. You can see she's really almost a very clever mother. She looks after and grooms herself, and I'm sure she's been looking after her cubs and grooming them wherever they are. What would be very, very special is if we see those cubs, but not only that, if we get to see her move out and catch something out here. Imagine she goes into that hole a bit later and comes out with a baby warthog. That would be the dream, huh? In terms of sightings. While she is flat, let's go through to James and the sunset and see that sun for
2. Hello everybody, I'm back on the floor. And I just thought I would quickly take a photograph of the sunset in honor, of course, of Samuel and his first Cheetah Plains leopard. This is, of course, I'm being nice right now. I feel deeply jealous of the fact that he has found Inkanyeni, who I've yet to see. And so I do hope you enjoy her very much. And wonderful that we finally got to see her there. Cheetah Plains is proving something of a boon to us. But let's just appreciate quickly the beauty of this light shining through the grasses, various species of Eragrostis and Chloris and Digitaria, and all of them sparkling. Isn't that lovely? That is magnificent. Quite a quiet evening sound-wise, bird-wise. That's going to, of course, become more and more the case as we head towards the middle of the winter. That's really pretty. Oh, stunning. Let's move on a little bit. We were rather hoping that there might be an elephant around the corner. There was one called in not too far from here a little bit earlier. We'll have a look-see, and then I've no doubt we'll go back to that leopard if it gets up to do anything useful. So look out for a spot pattern. Apparently she's got 4 spots left and 4 spots right. And she's also got 2 youngsters somewhere around there, so they might be quite nice to see too. Well, they would be very nice to see. David and I have so far found 1 dwarf mongoose and 1 Beyonce the warthog. That's it. But Sam is definitely doing a lot better than us this afternoon. We also did look down the drainage line where Karula is. She's still on site with her kill and her babies, and there are people viewing them, so that's all good. Just not our day for that sort of thing, I'm afraid. But at least you've got Inkanyeni, and I wonder if she's not going to take you to those youngsters. It'd be so nice. Now, there was an elephant around here. I've no doubt he's run away. Oh, you want to see my picture of the sunset? I will show you. I'll keep it for a bit later, though. I might need to touch it up a little bit. You know, there was a sort of power line in the way, and I might need to get rid of that and touch up my lack of skill with some cropping. There we go. There's another lovely picture of the sun. See how I framed that with the stick there? Perfect. I'll take another one, everybody. World's greatest landscape photographer. There we go. Stunning. I must have taken 784 photographs from this very position. Wonderful. And just to keep you posted, Sam is trying to get some other people into the sighting. The leopard hasn't moved yet, so don't worry about that. Isn't that pretty? I think we'll go from here towards Buffelshoek Dam and see if we can't find, not Buffelshoek Dam, what's the other dam? Treehouse Dam. Let's see if we can find something there. I wonder if that elephant hasn't headed off towards that area. Good, I will show you my pictures, I promise. They may just need a little touch-up. when you do not have skill. I'm just going to tell Kirsty, if you wouldn't mind telling Sam, he doesn't have to call it in on our channel, he just needs to call it on the Eastern channel. Otherwise he's going to be dealing with people from all over the place. Anyway. So everybody's congratulating him. Thankfully, they're all quite far away because, of course, a leopard sighting with thousands of people on their way there can be a bit of a nightmare if you are a new guide, especially. Anyway, we don't seem to be picking up any mammals on this particular side of the reserve. Indeed, or any birds. We might have to resort to a few grasses. And it just goes to prove that Sam's elephant has not meant anything for his luck. He's had some wonderful sightings today, and his elephant has done me no end of nothing. Start performing or I shall push you off. I shall not give you any more flowers. Anyway, let's just roll down the hill here and see if we can hear anything. Like I've said to you before, nothing. I'm just hearing Sam desperately trying to call this thing in. Now this is an interesting one. We were chatting about why it is that hyenas don't get eaten by other predators, and you wondered if perhaps vultures would get eaten by other predators, and if there was some reason that they wouldn't eat each other. And Annie, this is your question. You're in British Columbia, and I think it's a good one. I don't know I think vultures probably would be eaten. I suspect, though, that you'll find hyenas are not eaten because, yes, they are scavengers, but they do hunt as well. And I mean, the biggest scavenger out here is a male lion. A male lion probably scavenges more than a hyena does, in the strictest sense of the word scavenge. Scavenge, of course, means to take something that someone else has killed. Now, whether they will eat meat as rotting as hyena will, I don't know. They also don't eat the same bones. They also don't digest, well, not even a hyena can digest hooves, but they don't digest nearly as much of the body. And I suspect that the toxins in a hyena's body, because of the things that it's able to digest, rather than the fact that it is able to scavenge, I suspect the toxins it's able to ingest, which will then obviously infuse its flesh, probably do make it toxic to all but the most powerful digestive systems. I don't know about vultures. I'm just trying to think if I've ever seen a vulture being eaten. I don't think I have, but I've never seen a tawny eagle being eaten either. So I'm not sure if they would be eaten or ignored. All right, Samuel is back with his leopard. Let's head back there. I will try and find something resembling a mammal.
Welcome back to this beautiful female leopard. Have a look at those eyes as she grooms herself here. Plains. Trying to get hold of a few people that are wanting to come into the sighting, so please excuse me when I need to use the radio. She can see she's listening to something. What are you listening to? So what is your territory, Inkanyeni? I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. How old are you? Leopard just had a comment saying that maybe those cubs are actually inside the termite mound. Leopard, you could be correct. I mean, we saw her come close to the termite mound and then walk down it as if she's protecting it. So she might very well be looking after cubs by the termite mound. All we can do is be patient and see what happens. She looks like she's resting now. Country West is asking if her cubs are older than Karula's cubs. Yes, they are older than Karula's cubs. I think it's by 5 months they are older. I wonder if they are young, is a young female or male. I'm not sure. If anyone has any information on the cubs of Inkanyeni, please will you hashtag SafariLIVE. Let us know. We would love to know what you know about these cubs. Especially if you do, I'll be able to get them on Twitter and write them down in my book so I can learn a little bit more about this leopard and her cubs. And what's so exciting about this is that it's a whole nother story. You know, Karula and her cubs is one story. I didn't even know that this leopard, you know, I didn't even know Inkanyeni. And now I've just met Inkanyeni and I've just found out that she has 2 cubs. So the stories of the bush are beginning to unfold. I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Lee J in New York is asking, why do leopards have no scars compared to that of lions that do? Lee J, my answer would be to that you know, lions are social animals, as we've seen, so they spend a lot of time when they're growing up. It's a number of them, youngsters in a pride together, and if you've ever seen young lions play, they like to be quite brutal on each other and quite tough. And so I can imagine when they are playing as youngsters, they scratch each other's faces and they're just a little bit more tough with each other's. Whereas a leopard, as a leopard grows up, it's either with 2 or there's just 1. And so there's not as much brutal play as there would be in the lion prides. That's a very good question, DJ. She just got up and she had a look around. And where she looked straight to the termite mound. So, and the termite mound is right over here. So that could mean something. Either she's, as what we heard a little bit earlier, that there might be cubs anywhere around here. But she could also be just lying in that thicket and waiting for anything to happen. So myself and Wium are not going anywhere. We're going to sit here. And we're going to listen to any sounds that might be coming out in the bush. The rustle of leaves as the cubs come running out from somewhere. I've never experienced that, eh? I've never seen. So I am on the same boat as many viewers. This is the first time that we are experiencing Inkanyeni, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time. So I'm so glad we've been able to have this experience for the first time together with this leopard. Very exciting. And hopefully we'll have many, many more. And if it's not the sighting that we get to see your cubs, not a problem. We know your territory a little bit better now. And when I come back into Cheetah Plains, I know where I can have a look. I know where I can look for tracks. That's what's been the most exciting thing with learning more new land. You start to learn a little bit more about the dynamic of the land, the type of species that live in different places and what kind of paths they like to use. So now I've built a memory with this termite mound. And we have. MJ has just given us so she is the daughter of the beacon female. If that's right, the beacon female? From 2005. Thank you. Thank you very much, MJ, for giving us that update. It's incredible how much the viewers know. You guys are teaching me a lot. I really, really appreciate it, because that's just going to help me with learning more about the lineage of these predators in the area and the lives that they have lived up until now. So, we were so lucky to find you. Wium, you're a master, my man. You were just filming. What happened? Talk us through it. What happened?
So Leopard there.
You were just driving and then did you spot her tail?
Yes, it was awesome.
Oh, yeah, well done. Everyone can give a nice little clap for Wium for spotting that female as she walked through the thicket. So we're going to move a little bit forward, just so that we can maybe get another visual of her. We've seen one visual. While I move forward, let's go look at another place that is similar to this in terms of mounds, termite mounds, with hyenas.
There is a hyena, everybody. And, sorry, I'm laughing because Samuel's link went on a bit longer than expected. And so I introduced this hyena to you twice. First time, you didn't hear me. And it looks like a female, actually. I originally thought perhaps ribbon or mkombo, one of our special hyena males who hang around this area. You know what? You know what? That hyena, I think, is a female. And rather than bashing through the bush here, I'm going to go up to the old hyena den. That's where she's heading. Maybe she's going a little bit too far west. The old hyena den off Philemon's cut line is just over there. And I wonder if she's not going there. She looked like she's just eaten something. And I wonder also, perhaps she was waiting patiently below where Karula's got her killed. I've no doubt the cubs are absolutely fine. There are people there and there's no problem there. But maybe she's eaten something on the way, but she looked very heavy of belly and might be lactating. So let's pop around to this den site, the old den site here. I don't think I recognize that female, and I'd be fascinated if anybody did from the short glimpse that you got. I'm going to drive relatively fast. I think she looked like to me, though, that she was heading too far to the west. See, the light is already beginning to fade. I keep feeling like something is amiss, but of course we did start late, unfortunately, so sorry about that. I hope you're enjoying Inkanyeni. I'm very jealous, like I say. And dear, you thought it was, Christina, you thought it was coqui. Maybe, yeah, could well have been coqui. I didn't see a very obvious notch out of her ear, but I may just not have been looking very carefully. Let's just go and have a look at this den site. You know, that's when we originally saw coqui with the two people, the Decembers. I think it was. No, it wasn't. It was the matriarch, the current matriarch. With here are tracks of a large elephant going up this road. Very recent. Smoking tracks. We might bump into his large grey bottom. I think he's carrying on up towards quarantine. I'm pretty sure we'll pick him up there a bit later. I just want to quickly check the den. We're not far from there now. And even if nothing's going on, we'll be able to tell if it's being used or not. It's right in here. Just ease our way in. I must say, the thought of finding more hyena cubs is deeply exciting to me. Now we'll watch the tracks on the road here. Yeah, not many tracks of hyenas here. Keith, you want to know if hyena clans have names? They do, Keith. Normally just named after the properties that they're on. Maybe they don't all have names. Ours is called the Juma clan, I suppose. And the one on Arathusa / Simbambilia, here's some hyena tracks, is called, I think, the Arathusa clan. There's a wonderful Facebook group called the Hyenas of Juma. And before we do this, because this is amazing, check this nest out. And you see in the tree here, there's looks like a pile of grass has been planted there. I don't know what made that. I'm not sure what nest that is. But it's very recently made. Could be doves. It's quite untidy. Something tells me it might also be a mouse bird, but I think a mouse bird nests in a tree hole. I'll have to check that up. It'll definitely come past here again. That's very cool. You see the untidy sticks underneath. That's very indicative of a dove, but I don't know that they line their nests with grass like that. Anyway, Keith, check it out on Facebook, the Hyenas of Juma / Arathusa, and you'll get some wonderful info on all of the hyenas around here. I mean, I'm just trying to think of any other obviously named ones, not in this area, but perhaps down south at Londolozi and Singita, they call their hyena names their clans after the lodges. We'll just stick our noses in here and turn the lights off. Watch your head here, everybody. You can put your hands up to move this, no thorns. Here's the old den. Ye oldie den site. And I'm seeing some hyena activity on the road. Interestingly, some hippo activity, which is strange. Let's just stop here briefly. You can see where the holes are that the hyenas used to use. I don't think it looks very freshly used to me, so I think maybe it was wishful thinking that hyena was heading here. She might come past here. Anyway, always worth having a look-see, but I don't see any obviously fresh tracks coming from here. Okay, on we go. Round the corner we shall head, and then maybe onto quarantine and see if we can find that elephant. In the meantime, let's go back across to Sam and his leopard.
Inkanyeni is still fast asleep, as you can see here. But while she's sleeping, she'll be listening out for anything that moves around her. And this is even a form of hunting that she'll do. Just lie quietly and listen to anything that's around her. And the slightest movement, the slightest sound that she hears, she'll be up, looking for it. So I don't want to raise my voice too much. Okay, would like me to give a close rendition of how we can look and identify leopards out here in the wild. Okay, so we've got that close up, so we're going to go as close as we can. And if you have a look at the top line of spots by her nose there, so you can see where her whiskers are. At the top line you can see 4 spots. So the spots, beneath those spots towards her nose will be her spot pattern. Beneath those spot patterns is one long black stripe. So we're looking for those round dots just above that long black stripe, and there's 4 of them there. So I'll say it again, just in case no one understood that. Look at the whiskers, where the whiskers are, and you'll see those 3 long stripes. And if you look above those 3 long stripes, you can see that the last stripe is dotty. So it's got 4 dots on it. And that is the way in which we tell the difference between leopards. And they'll be on that side and the other side. So we can't see how many spots are on the other side. But what we've been told already is Inkanyeni has a 4-4 spot pattern. So we can see 4 on that side. And because we know that she has a 4-4 spot pattern, which means that she has another 4 on the other side there. So that is the way in which we can tell the difference between leopards out here. And what we also heard earlier is Thandi has a 3-3 spot pattern. So after looking at Inkanyeni, we saw the 4 spot pattern. We can now tell the difference when we see another female in this area, that she has a 3-3 spot pattern. So any new viewer that is interested to know how to tell the difference, that is how you will do it. So that is how you tell the difference between leopards out here. And what's strange is this afternoon we went looking and tracking for cheetah because we were on Cheetah Plains, and we've come across a leopard, which is very, very exciting. And you know what the best thing about it, just to be on a live safari, we had no idea we were going to come across this leopard, and next thing we knew, I got so excited. Linda is asking, do all the leopards have a Facebook page? Yes, Linda, they all have a Facebook page. So you can have a look on Facebook to see if you can find Inkanyeni's Facebook page, and you'll learn more about her and what she's been up to. I'll definitely have a look at them as soon as I can to know the difference between the different leopards out here. But have a look at that scenery. It's been another great day out here in the bush. You saw the sunset with James, and now you're seeing us next to a termite mound and a beautiful marula tree with those colours in the background, and dark blue all the way down to yellow. So the question I just got from Zoe was, what do leopards smell like? Well, the best thing I can say from tracking, because often we have to try and smell and use our other senses in order to track an animal, and one of them is the scent mark. So when you smell the scent mark of a leopard, it often smells like buttered popcorn. So that's the way in which we used to tell the difference between the various smells out here in the bush. If we smelt a scent that smelled like buttered popcorn, it was going to more than likely be a leopard scent marking, which is quite cool. You're just walking in the bush and next thing you smell buttered popcorn. You're not walking into a movie house, walking into the real deal. James is with an elephant on quarantine. Let's go and see what that large animal is up to.
Okay, back on the ellie. There, everybody, is a very large elephant, and he has come precisely where we thought he would, to quarantine clearings. He is in full must. The smell of sweet kind of rotting leather fills the evening air. It's not I know that sounds quite an unpleasant sort of description, but it isn't. It's actually quite a nice smell. We're just going to ease around the side of him. He's heading straight towards Eugene's bedroom at the moment. And now he's decided against that, obviously. And you can see he's streaming from between his ears and eyes. And that obviously is a sign that he's feeling a little frustrated by life. And of course, an elevated testosterone level will do that to both an elephant and a man, I suppose. Now, I think that he'll probably be making his way down towards the water, because they lose a tremendous amount of water when they're in must. Up to apparently 150 liters of that green sort of urine can drip from them during a day. Now, that's a huge amount of water. That is about 30 gallons, if I'm not mistaken. And just look there, what a brilliant color he is. His bottom is almost disappearing in there, even though he weighs 6 tons. Look how gently such a massive animal is able to move when he wants to. We've seen this fellow before, I think quite often. We know him because he's got quite thin tusks. He's not sort of born of enormous ivory, very elegant tusked. And what we'll do is let's just ease a little bit further down the road, and we'll see if we can't get a view of him going down into the clearings beyond. Now over here, I was being a little facetious about Eugene's bedroom. That's the camp where Brent and Jamie and Eugene and Louise and Jerry live. So let's go down around the corner here. He's quite close by to the road, everyone. There we go. Ellen, this is a very interesting question from you. Here we're only about 15 meters, 45 feet from this elephant now, so I'm going to just quieten my voice slightly. He will be listening to us. And look how close, I mean, how difficult he is to see, even though he is so close. Ellen, you want to know, we all live in such close proximity to animals, and therefore how many of us are vegetarians in the camp. There's no one strictly vegetarian. There are 2 or 3 of us who would rather try and sort of eat more sustainably, so we prefer game meat if we can get it, rather than sort of farmed meat. And that's not so much on the basis that we feel we shouldn't eat meat, but it's on the basis that we feel the enormous, well, the treatment of certainly many farm animals like chickens and is very poor, and also the fact that we know beef, and the farming of beef creates an enormous environmental strain on the world. Acres and acres of forest get cut down in the Amazon every year so that cattle can be raised to satiate the meat needs of human beings. And I mean, certainly my own investigations into human diet would indicate that we don't need a lot of meat. We do need a bit of fat to keep us going, but we certainly don't need anything like the amount of red meat that we consume. But I don't think any of us have a particular objection. I think we've all, I mean, certainly my perspective is that we have evolved to eat meat. And therefore, if it's done respectfully, in the same way, I guess, that a lion would eat meat, then, I've got no problem with it. That little grey patch disappearing through the bush. Isn't that wonderful? Right, let's turn around. We'll try and get another view. We'll go around the other side of the house. I'm pretty sure he's going towards the pan at the Djuma Dam Camp, because he will be thirsty. He's losing lots of fluid all day long. And he's very relaxed for a musk bull elephant, I must say. You want to know if we always leave the gate open? We do, except in the dead of the night. So when we go to bed, we'll close that gate. And that's only to keep things like hyenas out during the night. Is that fence electrified now?
It is.
It is, because the elephants did actually come in and start destroying the place when it got really dry. So because it's electrified, it will keep out elephants as well. It's also to keep hippo out. They will come through this area. And remember when we had Pete, the the hippo of the pond down here, he was oftentimes found in the garden of that house at night, and that can be very dangerous. So that's why the fence is there, and we close up the gates at night, but otherwise they stay open. Half the crew stay there, so that's where Brent and Jamie and Eugene and Jerry and Louise stay, and the rest of us stay just down here. It's about 400 meters away, quarter of a mile away, at the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the DRC. It's actually the Juma Research Camp. It's not really called the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Let's have a quick look at this elephant, because it is going to start getting too dark now, and I don't want to shine the light on him. I think he'll come through here. Andy and Julia in LA, you want to know if elephants are the largest land animal? Absolutely they are. They are by far the largest land animal. The next closest, I believe, is a rhinoceros, and after that probably a hippopotamus. And then you'll get things like the big buffalo you have in the United States. And giraffe are not too small either. So yeah, no, but they are by far and away the largest land mammal. They weren't always. I think you'll find that a lot of the woolly mammoths were probably larger than them. Looking at the areas, I can hear him moving now. I'm not going to get bashing in there with the lights on now. If you just listen carefully, just listen to the sounds of the evening, and you will hear him walking through here, breaking the odd branch. There we go. You can see the bush shifting. And you can also maybe hear the last calls of the diurnal birds, pearl-spotted owls, francolins yelling their heads off just before they go to sleep. And a breeze blowing as the sun's gone down, so a little breeze has come up. Interestingly, from the north. No, it's not talking rubbish. It's coming from the southeast, which is the normal direction. It's the sort of prevailing breeze we get. Oh, and just listen to that. And Zoe, just while we sit here and listen and enjoy the sounds of the night and see this big elephant coming out now, there he is. Vast fellow. You want to know if they come into must at a specific time of the year? No, they don't. It's actually completely random. The older they are, the longer the must period is, but it can happen at any time. I doubt it's as random as we think it is, but certainly it's not predictable in the same way that the, say, cycling of an impala ewes estrus cycle is. It's amazing how he emerged from the bush there. Let's just watch him carefully. He's watching us too. He is eating. We don't want to frustrate him because he does, of course, have large amounts of testosterone coursing through his body right now. But if I'm not mistaken, Brent has seen this chap a few times, and he's been very, very confiding, unconcerned with the vehicles. But with an elephant, you never take a chance. Well, I mean, you should never take a chance with any animal. But elephants specifically. Look how he disappears there. Now, the light that you're seeing on your screens, of course, as I've said many times before, is very different from the light that I'm seeing, so it's quite dark where we are. You can see the breeze has come up quite strongly. There he goes. I'm not going to try and view him again, everyone. We're just going to drive slowly out of the bush here and leave him to himself. And while we do that, let us go back to Sam and Inkanyeni. Inkanyeni, of course, means light as far as I'm aware, so hopefully there'll be some light there.
So Inkanyeni means light, and you are definitely a beautiful looking leopard. It's definitely shining in my eyes, but the light in general is beginning to fade this evening as we sit here with you, Inkanyeni, and we've been hoping to see if something might happen while we were sitting with her. We've tried to be as quiet as possible while being next to her, just to see the kind of things that she might be listening to, whether it be the sound of a warthog, or maybe the alarm call of the cubs, or the call to her mother, rather. But we're not going to spend much more time with her now.
Floodlight.
We're going to just spotlight her quickly.
How do you use the floodlight?
Should we use this one?
No, floodlight.
Yeah.
Car.
So we're going to put the floodlight from the car. Ooh. So she's not too disturbed by that light, as you've noticed. But now you can really see that colour. That light golden colour that Inkanyeni has. It was so cool to see her this afternoon. We just didn't expect today. We were sitting with a coqui francolin, and the next thing we knew, we had Inkanyeni. Our beard is asking, do cubs like to wander around on their own all day without their mother? From my understanding, our beard is that the cubs will mainly be put into a place of shelter to be looked after, otherwise known as the den, and the female will go out, or the mother will go out, to see if she can hunt and catch all the little things. But it's all dependent on their age. So if they're very young, the young cubs will sit as close to the den as possible, because that's where they're going to be safest, and the mother won't go too far away from her. But as those cubs get older, there's more opportunity for them to go out and explore the wilderness on their own. So I'm actually not sure of how big these cubs are. I'm interested to see them, how big they look, and how independent they're looking. But spending time with young cubs is something I'm very inexperienced with. I've never had that opportunity. I've only ever seen one from a distance, and when I was training, and that was at Londolozi. And I mean, the closest I've been to a leopard cub was with Brent about 2 weeks ago with Karula's cubs. We went tracking Karula, and we just came across her, and she ran into the thicket, and next thing I knew, these two sweet little cubs jumped up behind a log, and they just looked at me, and I was like, whoa, that is the most beautiful thing I've seen. And I had to get out of there straight away, because it's very uncomfortable and dangerous for us to spend time on foot with those animals. So we just found them, and we got away as soon as possible and called them in for Jamie to come and see. So that is my only experience with leopard cubs. I was so excited. I couldn't sleep for the first 2 hours. My adrenaline was still pumping that night. But she seems very quiet and tired. Gerda, thank you for saying that. She's saying that it's been worth seeing a leopard, or it's been worth having those gremlins that were taking control of our technical problems a bit earlier. We couldn't have any visual on anything, and Gerda is saying that it's all been worth it to come and see a leopard, especially a leopard that we don't see quite often, and it's the first time for many of us viewing this leopard. So thank you, Gerda. What it did do is it did allow us to get... Ooh, she's up. I'm just going to keep quiet. she's going to put her head back down. Awesome. So it did, having those gremlins did allow me and Wium to drive to the other side of Cheetah Plains. We are literally on the furthest part of our traverse that we can get to. We're on the on the boundary line, and we were driving the boundary line of Cheetah Plains, and that's when we came across her. So yes, Gerda, the gremlins were there for a reason. Look at that, Wium, great camera work, bringing us out into a frame where we can still see the leopard and still see the night sky with the orange and yellow parts of the sunset. Just as we're sitting here, I think it's time for us to leave. We've had an amazing sighting with Inkanyeni here. We've still got a far distance to travel to get back home, and she is fast asleep next to us here. I think we've had the most incredible time getting to know her and sitting with her and learning a little bit more about spot patterns, and at least now we know where part of her territory lies, right next to this termite mound where me and Wium were having a look earlier, and it looked like there were some old bones from warthogs that we had seen. But we couldn't obviously get out and have a look. We just pointed with a torch, and it looked like we saw some old warthog bones. And not only that, we could see quite clearly that there were tracks coming out of that hole. So it's a great chance that there is something at the bottom of that hole, whether it be two little cubs or porcupine or some little piglets, warthog piglets. Thank you, Inkanyeni, for another fantastic, well, the first fantastic sighting that we've had with you. We are going to head back into this thicket towards Cheetah Plains, into Cheetah Plains. There she is. We can get one last shot of her because she's just lifted her head. Bye, Inkanyeni. Have a good night. Hopefully we'll see you sometime very soon. Just while I leave the sighting, let's go and see what James is up to. Hopefully we'll have another incredible creature to show you when we're back.
Hopefully we'll also have an incredible creature. Nothing so far. The elephant we left browsing his way into the dusk, and we've come now to Rebecca's Road, well, soon to Rebecca's Road, where we're hopefully going to find the bush baby nest that I found the other day. And hopefully in the bush baby's nest will be a lot of bush babies. But otherwise we're in the vicinity where we might see a serval, the site of my only serval sighting here at Jumar. That would be very pleasant indeed. And for those of you who were watching the bushwalk this morning, Steph and I had a look at the frog app. He found a hole full of he says about 60 little frogs. And that hole of 60 little frogs apparently contained the russet-backed puddle frog. No, russet-backed sand frog. Russet-backed sand frog. And he was a little bit, he didn't trust his own identification of it on the walk. But that's what it turned out to be, a russet-backed sand frog, for those of you who were wondering. Tiny little frog. Now this is of course the time of the day when we talk about anything and everything. And Ellen, you say, has anybody seen the new Jungle Book film? And apparently in that film it confirms what I've been saying, that the elephant is the real king of the jungle. I don't know if anyone... Oh, chameleon, chameleon. There it is, David. Can you believe it? Look at that green chameleon there. There we go. Isn't that nice? That is the flat-necked chameleon. And as I've told many of you before, of course, if you know what to look for, it's not so amazing that I managed to spot that. But that doesn't stop. Right at this very moment, a number of guides around the Sabi Sands, not sort of basking in adulation as their guests shout from the back of the Land Rover going, "Oh my God, how did you see that? That's incredible." And the guide, of course, as I did many times, will be basking in adulation, say, "Well, you know, I'm very well trained, and I work on my eyes. I do lots of exercise for them every day, and that's how I'm able to spot things so incredibly well." Of course, a chameleon looks, now that we're looking at it, as though it's exactly the same color as the tree, but it isn't when you first spot it. It is a luminous sort of whitish color. That is the flat-necked chameleon. So, Ellen, I don't know if anybody's seen it. I felt like somebody came back from leave the other day saying they'd seen it. Did Louise not see it?
She may have, I'm not sure.
She may have. She's sitting in final control. She'll tell us now. No, she didn't see it. So, I don't know if anyone's seen it. I definitely want to see it. I've seen the trailer. I've heard very good reports. And I, of course, love the story. Well, who doesn't love the story of the Jungle Book? We have our own Mowgli in camp, of course, and that is Gendre. Gendre looks like Mowgli on account of the fact that he believes his hair cleans itself. This lamentable, highly lamentable habit of his has resulted in a hairdo that looks and probably smells not dissimilar to Mowgli's hairdo. He's not here to defend himself, of course. I wouldn't say anything if he was here because he's much larger than I am. Yes, Mia, you're absolutely correct. You say, why does Brent live at the other house? Is he too rowdy to live with the rest of the crew? His initials are BLS, which are alternatively known as Big Loud Sound or Brutally Loud Sound. Sorry, are you struggling to hear me?
Yeah.
There we go. Or Brutally Loud Sound. And so, yes, he is quite rowdy. But, no, it's the real reason he stays there, of course, is because Jamie and he are a couple, and so they need a bit more space. That's not to say that Jerry and Louise, who are sharing a room, are a couple, but that's where Scott and Nicky used to live as well. The rest of us live in single quarters, like the man-slaying gladiators of the Zulu army. It's actually nothing like that at all. I'm not sure why that came to me. Anyway, we're nearing before I put my foot completely in it, we are nearing where the bush baby nest is, I hope. Also, I haven't seen Tingana for a few days, so we're hoping to see him sometime soon. It's time he did a little patrol this way. Watch the aerial here, David. This tree catches us out just about every time. There we go, well done, David. Right. There was a tree here. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Judy H. You say Gracie saw the Jungle Book. It's exactly right. It wasn't Louise. It was Gracie, aged 8 in Ohio. Gracie, and you gave her 2 tusks up. That's right, exactly. I remember now. Thank you, Judy H. Yes, I remember. In fact, I remember we were driving down a road just over there when we heard that. Brilliant. Thank you for that. Well, if Gracie said it was good, then Gracie is a safari expert. then absolutely, I'm sure it's magnificent. Where is these bush babies? The nest, I think, is just up ahead here. Of course, all these trees start to look completely the same when the light fades. And then I start to feel slightly embarrassed that I may have driven straight past them. Even from out here, the smell of Tandagila's cooking is starting to filter through the air. Can you smell it?
I can.
This is utterly delicious. I wonder what we're having. Ah, here's the tree here. Now, they were in this tree. They are typically not there anymore. There we go. Now, they were in this tree, everybody, but I don't see them anywhere. And Arbeard, you say I can find an individual tree in bush country. Well, Arbeard, it's simply because we do drive around these roads very frequently indeed. And so I think there's a hole in one of these broken off branches here that these bush babies live in. But they may have moved off for the night already. Yeah, somewhere around there. Anyway, let's keep going down the road here. Scott had another bush baby nest along this road. I can never find that one. Scott, of course, the prime nest finder. Birds, bush babies, anything. Anything that made a nest, Scott found it. Somewhere down here. Of course, this is quite a nice place for bush babies to live because it's thick, and lots of bush to protect them, and lots of insects eating on the bush here. No, I think I've missed it again. Anyway, never mind. Might be just up ahead here. Ah, it's in this tree. Is it? Is it in this tree? No, not this tree. Arbeard, not so impressive after all then. Why I can never find the thing. We've gone past it. Anyway. Yeah, we've definitely gone past it. I think it's easier to find from the other direction. Okay, let's see what else we can find. We saw a civet last night, my first one live, which was fantastic. Unfortunately, the feed cut as we saw it, but we did manage to slow-mo it to you, which was wonderful. All right, Sam, I think, is tootling his way back from Cheetah Plains, which means he'll be back here at roughly midnight tonight once we've eaten all of Tandagila's supper. Let's go and find out about his progress.
James thinks we're going to be back at midnight. Huh? After they finish supper. Well, you know what, James? While we drive through Cheetah Plains, we might just see another leopard, we might just see another cheetah. So that's fine if I get back late. I don't have any problem with that. We've had the most fantastic afternoon to see a leopard coming through the Cheetah Plains. I think that must be the first leopard we've seen on Cheetah Plains. I don't think we've seen one. Have you seen one, Wium?
No, but they found quarantine on Cheetah Plains the other day.
Oh, they saw quarantine, that's right. Saw quarantine, so this is the second one. Now, we would like to see a white-tailed mongoose. I've seen a few of them, but I haven't seen them on live TV, so that could be quite exciting to see that big mongoose with a big white tail. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled for the white mongoose, white-tailed mongoose. It was such a great surprise to come across that leopard. I really had no idea that we would, it's such an amazing thing. That's what's so cool about this live safari. You're just driving and you're just looking into the Kruger boundary, and next thing we just see a leopard walking through it. We didn't do any tracking. All we were doing was driving quite slowly. So I guess that's a bit of a lesson, driving slowly really allows us to pick up on more things that are going on around us. Zoe's asking, you know, as a crew member, can we ever request something to eat, what dinner we have at night time? Zoe, I think you can request that. You know, I've only been in the camp for 2 months, but I'm sure you can if it's your birthday. Like my birthday is coming up, and I might just ask for my favorite meal. Who knows? I don't know. My favorite meal is what is my favorite meal? I love any type of spaghetti, noodles. I'm a huge fan of noodles. I really love Asian food. I don't know why, I just really love that stuff. It's so good. I spent 3 months living in Southeast Asia where I just really enjoyed eating that food. So hopefully, my birthday, which is coming up in a month, I can ask them if we can have some Asian food. To be honest, it's not that easy, you know, because to get the food you want, you have to put it on the... Whoa! Have a look at this owl. There it goes. Oh man, how cool was that? I think that could have been the spotted eagle owl. That was so cool. Talking about food, next thing we know, we've got an owl flying in front of us. So that was a spotted eagle owl, I think. We had a very quick glimpse of it. There it is again. Let's get a good picture of it. This is the first owl that I'm seeing. Hello, Mr. Owl. Awesome, how cool is that? It looks like it. I've never seen it in, you know, in the real experience. This is my first time really seeing it, so it's very cool. Look how it moves its head. What's incredible about owls, have a look at those ears and the way it moves its head. It has a way of picking up sound like no other animal can. It uses some sort of maths, like in terms of bouncing sounds off the ground, and through that it can locate where that prey is. It's incredible. I've just forgotten what the name of that's called, for the way in which it can hear different sounds and locate it. It can literally tell the distance of it just through the sound. Owls, wow, there's very cool different creatures to have a look at, aren't they? Look at those eyes. Much like those leopard's eyes that we saw earlier that were huge and what looked like quite orangey brown. Let's see if we can get a good look at them. Like he's going to... There we go. Wow. Look at those dilating. It's opening and closing. I think that must be because of my light. I'm trying not to shine on it completely because it must be... I'm just not sure about shining light straight into their eyes. But if it was uncomfortable, it would fly away. Oh, and it can turn its head. You just saw it turn its head the whole way around. So that's the spotted eagle owl. Zara in Ohio is asking, does South Africa have a national bird? Well, yes we do. It's called the blue crane. I haven't seen the blue crane here. I don't think we get it here. I've seen the blue crane lots where I was in December. I was traveling through our country, through the farmlands, and I was seeing blue cranes everywhere. And they've got long legs. I'll show you in the book just now after we look at this owl. We'll have a look at our national bird and we can have a good look at the distinguishing features of the blue crane. Have a look at those feet, those talons over there. So that those talons will help grip whatever prey it might be looking for. So it'll see something, it'll hear or see something. So as I said earlier, it doesn't only rely on sight to locate its kill. it can use its ears. So through the combination of its senses, it'll work out where that prey is and fall down and grip it with those sharp, sharp talons. Awesome. I'm still intrigued and mesmerized by those eyes. Can we have a closer look up there, Wium, of the ears? I find the ears of owls very, very interesting to look at. Sorry. It's almost like little feathers coming out. Very good looking, aren't you? Sure. All the birds are very jealous of your looks. Look at that black around the eyes down there, and the different spots, and the barring on the chest, and those sharp talons. Aren't we lucky to be sitting with an owl for this long? Mr. Tubok's asking, how big is this owl? Jeepers, it must be about just about half a meter big. I mean, it's probably, if I can show, it's probably the size of my arm from the elbow to the top of my hand. So if you just come back and you have a look at my arm on top here, it's probably the size of the elbow all the way to the top of my arm, sitting on that tree above us. So that could be a good description for you. And I'm not a very tall person, so I'm about 5.9 meters. Yes, Safari Dean, I didn't even think about dinner. I totally forgot that we were driving home. I mean, I haven't sat in the presence of an owl of this beauty ever in my life, so it doesn't matter if I don't get supper. I don't know how you feel about that, Wium.
I just had a banana.
Yeah, Wium just had a banana, so he's feeling great. What would be more incredible than us eating is if this owl just flew off this position and collected something off the ground. That would be cool. That would be worth staying in Cheetah Plains for the night if we had to. I think that's a slight exaggeration. I don't think I would sleep out here. James Richard says that owls is one of his favorite birds, and he said, well spotted. Well, to be honest, James, it wasn't very hard to spot, purely because it flew right in front of my face and then up onto the tree that was on the right of us, and then flew towards this tree. So basically, I think it wanted to be seen. It was like, hello Sam, please show my beauty to the rest of the world. I was like, okay, there we go. Wow. Penny in South Africa just sent us such a interesting comment about how, owls' brains are a lot smaller than what we think or know, and purely because of their eye sockets. Their eye sockets are so big that it reduces the size of their brain, which is very interesting. Well, I can look at those eyes. Those eyes are huge. I'm not surprised, Penny. Those are very, very big eyes. But thank you for sharing that. All this little bit of information that we can learn a little bit more about our natural world is great. So, but we've had a great sighting of you. But, I do realize that we have to go back towards our home because we're still halfway through Cheetah Plains. We literally drove maybe 500 meters from that leopard sighting and then came across this spotted eagle owl. So we're going to let that spotted eagle owl just relax in that tree, enjoy the rest of its evening, hopefully find something to eat. Hope you do. I'm sure you will. We need to eat as well, so we're going to move towards Orion, which is just above us, and we're going to head back home. So you can just see Orion there. If you are able to, Orion is one of our constellations of the summer night sky. Thanks again, Mr. Spotted Eagle Owl. So, as I was saying, Orion, which we're not going to look at right now purely because we need to start driving back and spotting anything else that will be there, but I can just talk to you a little bit about Orion. Orion is the constellation that is in the summer sky in South Africa. So when you come to South Africa, you can have a look at the night sky in summer, and that's where you'll find Orion. In winter, you'll find Scorpio. So there's one way of telling the difference between the seasons. It's between Orion, the constellation, and Scorpio. And my favorite constellation is Scorpio, just because I've spent so much time viewing it and learning more about the stars that are part of it, like Antares. And winter is a very special time out here in the bush, you know. There's not as many clouds because it's the dry season. The stars come out early. So, all I can say is, have a look out in your night sky, wherever you are in the world today. Get to know them a little bit better. I think by knowing our stars, we get to know ourselves and our planet a little bit better. At least that's what it's given me. But we've had a great drive today, coming across that. Honestly, hey Wium, one of the most beautiful leopards I've ever seen. Hopefully we'll get to see her and her cubs again. But thank you for partaking. Sorry about the gremlins a bit earlier. These things happen. You know, live safari, it's what's going to happen every now and then. Otherwise, let's head back to James. Thank you, Kirsty, and everyone behind there. Thank you, Wium, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hello everybody, back again you are with us. We found, what did we find? Oh, nothing, that's right. Samuel has done an incredible job today. I did want to show you, of course, my immensely clever work of art, which I'm sure you've all been desperately waiting for Sam to close up and stop talking about that owl so that you could come and look at my unbelievable photograph. I know that's what you were all thinking, but never mind, here we go, here it is. David, can you believe it? Is that not very pretty, everybody?
Beautiful.
Now, what I want you to notice is the fact that there is no power line in that photograph. You see that, David?
I see that.
Isn't that clever? Yeah. I'd love to tell you that was me, but it's this very clever app of mine removed the power line. Yeah, no, nothing else worth looking at. Okay. Well, that was quite pretty. I do so enjoy the sunsets and the long grass, and I probably waffle on about it a bit much, but it makes me feel happy, I must confess. Oh, the spotlight, I forgot. Very effective as it's been. Oh, we did find the chameleon, I suppose. Now, please don't forget that as of the 1st of May, today I believe is the 27th of April, 30 days hath April, if I'm not mistaken. So in 4 days' time, we are going to be starting drive in the mornings, 1.5 hour later. So instead, no, sorry, in the afternoons, I'm absolute rubbish, 1.5 hour earlier. So we'll be going out at 3 o'clock our time, which as far as I remember it is 9 o'clock Eastern time in the States and 6 o'clock Western time in the west of the States. We are Central African time, so if you are in the United Kingdom, that will be 2 hours different. No, 1 hour different. You've gone in daylight savings now, so you'll be 1 hour behind us, so you'll be starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Greenwich Mean Time, with daylight savings. It's also very confusing. In Australia, I couldn't begin to tell you when it's going to be, probably sometime a week after we start. I can smell it again, everybody. I can smell the delicious smell of the birthday dinner for WildEarth, cooked by Tandegile. It is, of course, WildEarth's birthday today. We are 9 years old. I'm a little bit older than 9 years old, but WildEarth is 9 years today, and I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful privilege to be involved with this incredible project. Thank you to all of you for your questions and comments today, and for joining us over the course of the last 9 years. I've only been here a year, of course. Big thank you to David. Thank you, David, for all your efforts today, for putting up with me, and thank you to all of you for your patience with the Gremlins. Thanks to Sam, who found all the animals today with Wium, and to Kirsten in the final control with Louise. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock as the dawn breaks. Stay safe. Bye-bye.